This is for the players.
I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Josh Saunders.
And this is for the players, the PopCulturists PlayStation podcast. With almost 40 years combined playing PlayStation and 5 years in the games media combined, we thought we'd throw a hat into the ring and join that PlayStation conversation.
If you also want to join in that conversation, you can do so on iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube, Facebook, and all other major social media outlets. But the main conversation happens on our Facebook community group, facebook.com/groups/thepopculturists. And if you really like what we do, head over to Patreon, patreon.com/thepopculturists. Check out the tiers there. There might be something there that interests you.
Hey, man.
Hey, man.
How you been?
I'm sick.
You've been pretty sick this week. It's been a tough week for you. I've seen it like, you don't look as dead as when we filmed some things the other day. You looked a little bit like pale. The eye, you know when you get super sick, like the eyes kind of droop and get that.
I think the difference the other day is I was also dead inside.
Oh, that would help.
Yeah. I'm still dead inside.
But
I've come to terms with it.
There's been understanding involved with it. It's like, because isn't that the first, they talk about the first alcoholism and stuff is like acceptance?
Yeah.
You're like, no, I'm dead
Accepted
inside.
that I'm just alone in this world.
Yeah,
which makes it easier to not feel so alone. But you know what doesn't make me feel alone?
What's that?
Playing video games.
That's true. What have you been playing this week, my friend?
I'm right back on the Blizzard bandwagon lately. Smashed out some Overwatch last night, probably 5 hours.
So I've never jumped into that, but your son's a big fan.
Yeah, that's why I have it, because he bought it with his pocket money.
PS4?
Yeah, PS4.
Nice.
Yeah, I dabbled on every time they have a free weekend. I'll jump in and I'll play for a while, and I'd really enjoy it. But I never really wanted to sink the money into it. But I didn't have to because my son wanted to pay for it.
What a legend!
That's fine with me.
Good on you, Alex, champion.
It's a good game, man. You can see why it's so popular, because it is so. It's bright. It's colourful. It's fun. All the characters have character. That's why you see the cosplays and the memes and all that, because Blizzard are very good at creating characters that matter, and all of the characters just drop because it's a multiplayer multiplayer only game. There is a story, and they do like little short stories on YouTube and stuff to kind of give you the background of what Overwatch is. But even just playing characters, because you start in your little starting zone and the time goes down before the gates open and you go. But in your starting zone, depending on what character you are, they'll just say a line that gives you a bit of backstory. And,
it's just a little quirk that adds
little just
something to the
tidbits. I was
character.
playing Soldier 76 for a while last night, and in one of the maps, I'm not sure what it was, must have been old Overwatch headquarters. And just before the game starts, he goes, a lot of good memories here. A lot of memories here, not all of them were bad. And it's just little things to kind of get you into it, to interest you. You go, well, what are you talking about? And then it's like what Destiny 1 did. Is none of the laws in the game, but it is just a multiplayer game. But they do really cool like short stories for each character on YouTube and stuff like that. It's just a fun, very character-driven game. You can be as competitive as you want. You can jump into quick play, or there's competitive play as well. I don't go to competitive play. I enjoy healing people in that game. I play as
the new are the best person having MMOs or any online game. There is never enough healers in any game I've played.
Yeah, that's just what I do in multiplayer games if I can. I enjoy being support or healing or like the buffer.
You're the best.
Yeah, that kind of guy. I enjoy helping my friends. And the cool thing about Overwatch is at the end of the game, this is obviously old news. The game's been out for a year now, but
spoilers.
It comes up with maybe 4 or 5 different people throughout the game that kind of
like MVP,
who did the most damage,
kills,
who did the most healing, who was on the objective the most. And when you're there as the healer, and everyone votes for who they want the MVP to be, and when you're the healer and you get voted and you get the MVP, it makes you feel good.
You're like,
because healer. That's why a lot of people don't heal, because it's like underappreciated behind the scenes. You don't really, and it's not as fun as obviously blowing people up and stuff. But when you heal for a game and everyone kind of tips the hat to you and says, you deserve MVP this game. We wouldn't have won without you healing, doing what you do. It feels good.
So one of the biggest things and the best things I heard about Overwatch was you actually you can still be MVP or still be the best of the the best in that match just by running the objective.
Yeah.
So in like Call of Duty as an example, where you're only MVP if you kill the most people.
Yeah.
Like it's simple as that. Like you kill the most, whatever. But this you can be like a truly defensive character and still come out top.
Yeah, and then you get after every round you get play of the game where it highlights a character in the game who did something really cool, whether it's getting like a quad kill with their ultimate and stuff. But even the healers can get play of the game. Everyone has to watch it, so everyone's and when you get play of the game, it feels really good because you know that there's 11 other people watching what you just did in that game that may have turned the tide.
Then there's the opposite with Call of Duty when you get the kill cam and you're the last kill of the match.
Yeah,
and you have 18 people watching you getting like knifed in the junk, or like you running into clearly open space and then getting ruined,
or getting teabagged while you're trying to camp for like 18 seconds and then stuff.
Yeah, someone's like, the last like 8 seconds as you...
But it's a really accessible game too. My 8-year-old plays it, he gets play of the games every now and then, and that makes him feel good. It's just, it is a good game. Yeah. And you can put as much time into it as you want. It's good. What about you?
It's been a pretty quiet week for me, actually. I've not played a lot of games. Last night, I did a bit of streaming on the PS3. Did some PlayStation 1 classics.
I saw the title of the stream, and you had a really big missed opportunity.
What was it?
Harvest to the Moon and Back.
Oh, that's so much.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to go back because I said a couple of the new faces in the stream. One of them was Gremling.
Yeah.
He was like, are you gonna stream your whole time? I'm like, I wasn't going to, but I guess if one person's keen, gives me a reason to fucking play it. And if I just sit there and stream it for 6 hours, I'm like, Millie, I've got to stream. Like, this is not me just playing the game. I'm streaming this. This is for the benefit. Yeah. And it's just him and I just chilling, watching that.
Harvesting together.
I think I might recall the newest one, Harvest to the Moon and Back. I think that's what I'll probably call the next one. We did play a little bit of Crash Bandicoot 3, Warped as well. Yeah. That was mostly just because I was like, it's a week from now.
Hype time.
It's hype time. It's PS1 classic. Something.
People are looking for it.
Well, for me, it was like, I want to fully comprehend and understand the level of effort and skill that Vicarious Visions have put into this.
Yep.
Because like in my head, when I played Crash Bandicoot, then it looked like what we see in the 4K version.
I said that too. I think you were watching a trailer when I came over once. I said, I always remembered it looking like this.
Yeah, because I was young. I didn't know that graphics would get better. Yeah. So like in my head, it looked that good. Playing it last night, I'm like, man, it's not that good.
Yeah, it looks shit.
It looks pretty bad.
And the controls like garbage.
Yeah.
Did they improve by Warped? Because Crash 1's controls were... A lot of my deaths were caused just by... The controls just weren't
Well, the
great.
biggest problem that between Crash Bandicoot 1 and the other two is the fact that it didn't have...
Slide?
It didn't have... thumbstick.
Yeah.
So the DualShock existed, but Crash Bandicoot wasn't built for that. So it's very much directional buttons, which it did not get you that precise jumping.
Yeah. And even when you get the Vita version, you can't use the joystick.
Exactly. Yeah. So I was playing on the PS3 using the PS3 controller, which feels like shit. Compared to DualShock 4.
They're really light, aren't
They're
they?
light and everything's kind of crunched in. So like it felt unnatural actually putting my thumb on the stick, which is weird because I've spent more years playing that than I had playing PlayStation 4. But I know something about the DualShock 4. It's just laid out better. It's just bigger. It's a bit wider. It's built for the man hands. But yeah, no.
Is that why I have so much trouble using it?
Probably. So with Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped, they brought in a couple of the little extra additional skills, right? So when you completed the 5... each sort of warp area. So you get the five levels plus the boss. Then you get a additional jump. There was the belly flop, the double jump, the bazooka. There's a run. So all these little things that give you some replayability. Because once you beat that 5, you go to the next one. You'll get the belly flop. So you go back, you do
if you want to get all the gems, you can't do it without having the ability you get from boss 3.
or some of them you can't. So then, by the time you do all 5 little base station warpy rooms, you'll come back and you'll have enough to get everything.
Yeah.
There are certain things that will only get triggered by the bazooka. There are things that only get, you can only really get from a double jump. It allows you to sort of go back and get some of those boxes that you missed and sort of get that little box gem.
The re-release should make a fun... platinum hunt, I think.
I think I'm going to do my very best.
Yeah. As long as there's nothing time trial based, because I hate
the time trial. The time trials are, and I think they are a key part of at least what 3 was. I think the time trials were in 2 as well, if I remember right. But I think there will be some gold trophies which are essentially
complete Crash 1 without a death.
Oh no, that's impossible. Get all purple crystals, get all silver crystal gems, get all time trials. Like that's a given in probably all of them.
Blow up every nitro box.
Yeah,
in the game maybe. But no, it'd be interesting to check out.
You should get that by just completing it. In theory.
Actually, I wonder if the trophy list is up. We can go through that later.
Trophy list is up.
Let's go through that later on.
When the drop kicks in, we talk about it. We'll have a look at it there.
I'll bring it up now while you start talking.
So the other thing I played as well, Harvest Moon Back to Nature. I find, for me, I just wanted to play it. Really, really enjoyed it. I spent a little bit more time with Destiny. Not a lot more.
Oh, did you?
I'm at a point now where the next story mission requires me to have someone else to play with. It's like, find 3 more people. So I had to fill a squad apparently for this mission. I'm like,
it shouldn't stop you from going forward and doing other missions, though.
Yeah, I want to do that one. Like, I play them in order.
You did ask me to play the other night at like 9:30, and I fell asleep on the couch at like 9 o'clock.
Yeah, which is really annoying. Well, because I would have played early, but I had to do a bunch of dicking around in the house, and then I was like, I messaged Josh, no response. I'm going to bed. Do we have anybody else in the PopC community that has Destiny? And we could
Joel.
Oh, I think the 3 of us should do a little bit of fun.
A bit of fun, yes?
Yeah. I was thinking tonight, maybe at time of recording, I was thinking we should do a little Rocket League night tonight. I might send the message out. Are you free tonight?
Yeah.
There's some game happening.
Yeah. Why can't I?
All right, I'll find it.
I'll find it. Yeah. Oh no, I got it.
You got it?
Hey, that's an interesting tidbit. Insane Trilogy will feature Coco as a playable character.
Oh, the entire game is playable by either Crash or Coco.
That's great.
Awesome.
That's cool as fuck.
Because we were talking about it last night. So Pinch Zero, Jacob, one of our regular viewers, he was talking about how when he played it with his brother would always let him play the Coco levels. I'm like, haha, benefit to you. This entire game is Coco levels. He's got a clear advantage. But that's pretty much what I've been playing. I've been a very quiet week. We haven't had a code or anything yet. I'm hoping by next episode, we will have had the Insane Trilogy for a little bit. We would have streamed at least the first couple of hours of each, and I think we'll have a good chance, have a good discussion about it come next week. Speaking of next week, I got a special guest lined up. We've got Paul James from Player 2. Hiking all the way, like an hour and a half to come chat with us.
You said, Gisborne?
Gisborne, yeah.
Because you said that's where he's coming from. I've lived here my entire life, and I've never heard of that suburb.
Me either. Like, I've lived, we've
But it was also, when we met, and you're like, I'm from Traralgon. I'm fucking where?
What?
Yeah, another one of those little
because like when Paul was
towns.
like, I'm from Gisborne, I'm like, sounds like a place.
Do you mean Brisbane?
Like, Brisbane? Yeah, he's like, I'm from Gisborne. I'm like, Geelong? No, Gisborne.
Corio. G-I-G-E.
We move into the next segment of the show, which is called Inform the Players, where we tell you about all the big things that have hit PlayStation this week in terms of its news.
PlayStation and the general big news from the game.
Anything that will affect PlayStation.
Yeah. This affects TV. Number 1. In a press release, developer Psyonix detailed its new partnership with the NBC Sports Group. The network will broadcast a 2 versus 2 tournament with a $100,000 prize pool this summer, American summer. This tournament will begin...
As I'm sure it's a US 100,000 as well.
This is obviously a US piece of news. The tournament will begin with the regional online qualifying matches organised through the Face It esports platform. Then later rounds will be aired on the NBC Sports app. The grand finals, which will take place from August 26-27, will be broadcast on the NBCSN, the network's TV channel in the US, and the Sci-Fi channel in the UK, Germany, Australia, and Latin America. According to Rob Simler, Senior Vice President of NBC Sports Ventures, the network decided to make Rocket League its first foray into esports because it believed that the game is already close enough to sports to make it easy and entertaining for NBC Sports' current audience.
That's a really good way to look at it, actually. Like, it is pretty much sports. It's
car soccer.
Yeah, and like that's, I guess, a good selling point, because I was watching a show on YouTube, the Kind of Funny Games Daily, and they were sort of talking about what would be, why hasn't esports hit that mainstream yet?
Well,
and the short answer is
League of Legends and Dota has been on ESPN before.
But the average gamer doesn't give 2 shits about League of Legends or Dota 2, right? Because they're games, they're not easily accessible.
No, they're not.
As in, like...
you can play them, but you'll get chewed the fuck out.
Yeah, you'll get beaten and you'll get destroyed. Well, like, Rocket League has the lowest barrier to entry, right? It's pretty straightforward. It's... when you start getting higher and getting a bit more competitive, that's when you see cool trick shots and stuff. But it's easy enough for you to sort of get your hands in and play. Yeah. And in terms of the rules of it, it's dead easy.
Get the ball in the net.
Hole. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you just have to apply basic sports into it.
some physics, which the physics engine is phenomenal in this game.
Yeah,
as
Sonic,
well.
it's everyone knows how insanely good Rocket League is.
Yeah.
But like, I think that is a perfect way to approach it in terms of this will be the most easiest way for people to understand and have access to some sort of esports. Because I don't tend to give two shits about esports personally, only because there's no game that's really jumped out to me and tickled my fancy.
Yep.
And I would probably consider watching some Rocket League.
Well, I've dabbled in, when I was in my big Rocket League, like I fucking love this game.
Yeah.
I dabbled in watching some of the pro YouTubers do their stuff, and so after you don't appreciate how hard it is until you it does that thing where if you don't touch it for a while, the screen goes black. I don't know why.
I mean, it turns off.
It'll come back. If you when you watch the pros do it, it's just incredible what they can do. You don't appreciate how hard it is. As I hit my laptop's power button, you don't appreciate how hard it is until you've played the game. There we go. And you see the pros do the things,
Smash
and then you try to do the things, and you can't do the things.
Dude, for me, it's like, I see a ball coming, and I go, this is the
normally-
ball. This is the ball, and it's like, I go,
The worst is when you're driving straight at it, but then it just bounces over
yeah.
you
No, for
slowly.
me, normally I try to time the jump, and I'm
miss
I'm
it.
either too short or I'm too late, and like I never. Rarely do I actually hit it on time.
It'll be interesting,
if we do play a little bit of tournament tonight, we'll see how we go.
Yeah, we'll see how we go. But they couldn't have known how popular this game would be when they released it.
No,
Because now it's on PC and Xbox, and PlayStation is coming to the Switch.
it's literally
Now
on
it's
everything.
on TV, and I think I was what's it? The last PS I Love You episode. Was it PS I Love You?
Yeah, it was Jeremy Dunham.
Yeah, because he works for Psyonix now. They were talking about, are you thinking about doing a Rocket League 2? And he said, well, no, the community is big enough. Doing a number 2, you can't add enough at once to make it worthy of a sequel. And, the community of saying is so good, they just keep adding stuff to Rocket League.
Yeah, they could literally run that game forever. And like maybe in some time they can just release a big patch that'll reskin everything potentially.
Yeah, or you can, when you buy the game now, you can buy the whatever version to get all the extra cars like the Batmobile and the TARDIS and all that kind of stuff.
But I mean, in terms of, because the biggest difference between like a 1 and a 2 is they overhaul the graphics, they overhaul the engine, like things like that. But that could probably be done with a patch.
Yeah, but it's also, if it works, it works. Rocket
But I
League,
mean, like if they want to do some sort of to the next one sort of tweaking.
yeah, I don't know. I think they'd be
But speaking of dumb crazy physics.
News number 2, Spider-Man Homecoming hits theaters in early July, and to mark the
Swing
upcoming
some
release,
things.
Sony is launching a tie-in experience for VR headsets. It's coming a week ahead of the film's release date, and it's free. Sony announced the
You
experience.
had me at free.
Sony announced the experience with a short trailer which shows a bit of what you can expect. It looks like a series of mini-games that will have you shooting webs, eliminating enemies, and most importantly, swinging through the city. Spider-Man Homecoming VR arrives on June 30, a week before the film's July 7 release, their US date, so I think we're a day before, in date-wise. Although the game was produced by Sony Pictures Virtual Reality, it's not limited to PSVR. It'll be available for all major VR systems, including the Rift and the HTC Vive. If you don't own a VR headset, you can still try it out at certain Cinemark theaters in the US. So for any of our US listeners, you can go to Cinemark theaters and they might have a demo running there.
See, from what I've seen of this, it looks pretty much similar to the beginning of Arkham VR. As in, you pop a suitcase. There's the cow. Pop it on, and then you're Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You know, like in terms of that initial sort of, and then a little mirror will pop up, and you'll be Spider-Man.
I think the web swinging in VR will be very, very cool.
Yeah, I'm hoping they have Move support.
Oh, for webbing.
Because like it's just like Move has the 2 triggers on the back, right? And as you may or may not know, Spider-Man does upside down metal hands, and that's the thing. So if you got the Move controllers, you can just pop the trigger behind it.
Oh yeah,
Totally doable.
maybe.
Yeah, and like my only concern was if you're like swinging, you'll vomit. But like by the looks of it, it's doing what Eagle Flight did, which is when you start going super far, like when you start getting fast or anything that would give you motionless, they kind of black the corner of the screens out.
Yeah,
So it gives you a
okay.
pinpoint focus, which
Yeah.
sort of does take away some of that sickness feeling, I'll be playing the shit out of this, and if I can be bothered, I may stream that thing too.
I think the reason they would have put it on the Rift and the Vive is obviously, you know, the movie's coming, but also the Spider-Man PS4 game is coming as well. So I think that just gives it a little bit of a bigger audience to market to, even though the Spider-Man PS4 game won't be VR. I think it's just branding. It's branding, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Speaking of branding, news number 3. Despite releasing Nathan Drake's last game, Naughty Dog seemed keen to keep the world of Uncharted alive. Speaking to Eurogamer, Uncharted The Lost Legacy creative director and writer Sean S. Craig said that to say the Uncharted world is done, I doubt that highly. That was a quote from him. The upcoming Lost Legacy is a standalone game featuring returning side characters from the series and pointedly, definitely not featuring Nathan Drake in any capacity. SK seems to see the approach will be a useful one for the future of the series. In a quote, I wouldn't say it's the end. The thieving world is huge. There's so many characters. Even before we settled on Lost Legacy story, we were exploring Sullivan, and we were exploring Cutter and pairing each other up, thinking what would be right, what would have conflict, growth, something new, something fresh, and Chloe was the one that kept jumping out. What do you think?
In no way did I ever think that Uncharted would just end. Like, I understand, I appreciate that they're aware that 1 to 4 is the Nathan Drake story. And Uncharted, as you know it, in terms of Nathan Drake, ends there. Like, we may see him pop up as a cameo here and there, maybe. But, like, they're not adding to his story. And that's respectful to what Naughty Dog have done. Because Naughty Dog will no doubt probably step away from Uncharted and pass it on to some other people. And that's fine. But, like, I'm not knowing they're not going to touch Nate. Cool. And, like, the credit to them, in terms of the writing and the world building they have, that universe of Uncharted is fascinating. I want to see more of it.
I think the hardest thing to grasp, though, is it Uncharted without Nathan Drake? And they're obviously trying to say yes. Yes, it is.
I think the answer is
but
yes.
I think pulling a lot of people over to that will be a bit difficult because, like, me personally, I'm not interested in the Lost Legacy at all.
I'm crazy, King.
I'm not interested at all. Like, to me, cause I'm a casual Uncharted fan, but to me, Uncharted is Nathan Drake's story and nothing more. But if people want it and they want to make it, go for it.
I
That's
think it's
cool.
them sort of testing those waters, as I mentioned. So it'll be they'll try to sort of, you know, suss out what it means to make an Uncharted game, you know, in terms of big set pieces, ancient history, you know, sort of something mythical or supernatural. You know, they sort of take out the key things, and like and once again, Naughty Dog is a studio. They're smart enough and they're respectful enough to their material to have not just shoveled out something.
Yeah, like they've marketed The Last Legacy really hard. Really?
Yeah, but
it was
at the same
first
time,
thing on the E3 stage.
That is true, but I do believe there will be some conflict with people. Similar in the same vein as you, a lot of casual people that know Uncharted as the Nathan Drake's the story or the Nathan Drake show, and they're like, "Oh, this is just DLC," regardless of the fact that it's 10 hours long and it's essentially a smaller version of Uncharted.
I think his quote will just they're going to release Lost Legacy. See how it goes. If Uncharted without Nathan Drake has legs in it, they'll keep running with it. But if Lost Legacy doesn't perform to whatever their projections are, they might go, oh, well, maybe.
And that's smart.
Not. That's smart. Yeah, testing the waters.
That, once again, respect to your source.
Yeah,
they understand that. Look, it's not all about the dollars. If not everyone jumps at this, we're fine.
Because, like,
hopefully we can get ourselves hands on with Lost Legacy.
I can't be biased about it because if they tried to do the same thing with The Last of Us, I'd be in. I'd be keen as shit because, you know, The Last of Us is a Joel and Ellie story. It is, and The Last of Us 2 it seemingly is going to be a Joel and Ellie story. But there would be so many stories in that world left untold that obviously Joel and Ellie can't be a part of. And I enjoy their world. I enjoy their take on zombies, quote unquote. So if they wanted to do the same with The Last of Us, I'd be cool with that too.
Yeah.
Because they just make great games all around.
They do. We seem to be very friendly to
Naughty Dog.
Naughty Dog almost every week at this point.
Yeah, but they deserve it.
They do.
They deserve it. The best first-party company out there.
A very crybaby somewhere.
And a very crybaby somewhere.
I think
he stopped.
Yeah.
Quick one for number 4. Quantic Dream's upcoming PS4 exclusive, Detroit Become Human, will be released sometime next year. Game director David Cage confirmed the release window in an interview with GameSpot at E3, saying it's going to be next year.
No, it's not.
Because, well, that was the thing is that, you know, they showed that massive trailer and gameplay thing for it. And at the end of it, there was no window. There was no date. There wasn't even a window. There wasn't even a coming 2018 come up on the screen.
I think for them, I think it comes down to Sony have, I would like to think so, they've learnt. They understand that previously it was like, we were pretty ballsy and we said this and this, and it's like, shit, okay, look, we've delayed Last Guardian like 5 times. Yeah. We had to delay Uncharted. We had to delay Horizon. I think they understand that like delays... there's too many. All the first parties are delaying at this point.
Yeah,
it's balls. We can't have this.
Doesn't stop them from showing the game so early though.
No. Well, once again, it's still not crazy early. Like apart from Death Stranding, of course. But like I would love for Detroit to come out next year. I think that'd be fantastic. But I think they know the history of David Cage and how he likes to take his sweet ass time. Yeah. That they're like, we won't officially announce anything. Yeah. Like I'm sure David Cage would love it. I'm sure he would love for it to come out next year.
Yeah, well, I guess that's the thing. The quote was from David Cage and not Sony themselves. So take it with a grain of salt. But
and like the other rumor mill as well is with Days Gone, right? Is apparently they've the rumor mill is that they are the reason they may have not put a date on it is because they're aiming to maybe drop at the end of the year.
Okay, surprise
and
release.
Like it's surprise release. So what they're doing is they're sort of not putting a date on it, so that way, if it all goes well and they can pump it out by the end of the year, surprise 2017. Or if not, we didn't say it would come out this year.
That's a good way because if it's a surprise release, like it's out now,
or it's out in 3 weeks or a month or whatever,
all the impulse buyers are going to go get it. Whereas if it's out in 6 months. People are interested then, and then the interest wanes, and then the pre-order, and then they get, and it's kind of like,
This is something we sort of talked about last week with Jono, was sort of, Sony don't really have much at the end of the year. Now, granted, they have GT Sport. Apparently, that's going to be hitting November, but that was supposed to hit November of last year, so fuck if I know. But you mean, like, there's not much left at the end of the year, so that could be a great little sweeping, because, like, I want that game bad. I don't know why, but that game just ticks boxes for me. Okay. Like, when I first saw it last year, and I'm like, I'm intrigued what it is, but seeing what we saw at E3, which is taking sort of the best bits.
Zombie Bear.
The Zombear helped. Like, so the Zombear was good. I liked it. It's got the stealthiness of, like, sort of The Last of Us mixed with some of the craziness of, like, how be able to manipulate that freak or horde. And, like,
I think it really depends on characters and story. So far, the main guy...
Deacon.
Don't really...
Yeah, there's not much you can know about. Like, they've not really given too much away about Deacon, but I think what that will be the trailer that they drop with the release date if it's coming this year. Yeah, they'll be like, this is a story trailer. This is who you should care about, and you should be caring about it in.
Quick note on story trailers: the Far Cry 5 story trailers are fucking phenomenal.
We talked about that before, but yeah,
because I think they've released a couple more since we last talked about it. So good.
I think about the E3 one, where it's like, I think it's singing Amazing Grace, and it sort of zooms in on the church, and he's like, with the gun in the air. Yeah. You don't mess with this guy. Yeah. Oh, I'm so keen for that game. Like, so keen.
Well, speaking of zombie bears in Days Gone.
Yeah, good try.
The Rise of the Necromancer expansion for Diablo 3 is coming digitally to Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC on June 27, $15. The expansion brings with it the return of the Necromancer class last seen in Diablo 2. The return of the Necromancer to Diablo, who will draw upon the power of blood and bone to protect humanity, was first rumoured last November when concept art leaked online. Rise of the Necromancer includes a golem in-game pet, cosmetic wings for the Crypt Guardian, 2 more character slots, 2 stash tabs for PC gamers, and a Necromancer portrait, banner, sigil, accent, and Bloodmaster pennant. Xbox One and PS4 can get the Diablo 3 Eternal Collection, which includes the base game, the Reaper of Souls expansion, and Rise of the Necromancer. Xbox Gold and PS Plus members can get the Eternal Collection for $40 US when it launches. The price is a special introductory price, meaning it is a limited deal, and non-Gold Plus members will have to pay $60. So keen. I thought... Because Millie, your wife...
My wife really loves
Diablo.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd bring this to your attention, so you can bring this to her attention, because I platinumed Diablo 3 on PS...
Does it come out at the end of the month?
No, like 4 days. When this releases 2 days? June 27.
Okay, cool.
I platinumed Diablo 3 on PS4. Mm-hmm. And I've been wanting to get back in because I've gotten all the trophies, I feel like there's nothing for me to do, which there is, because there's like an unlimited rift system where you can just keep getting higher and higher levels, and they get harder and harder. You just kind of push, how far can I go, and you get better gear, and then you push further. But I'm keen as mustard. The Necromancer was my dude in Diablo 2, with like the bone spears and the skeleton mages and stuff. Oh man, I'm so keen. I think you'd enjoy it.
I'm sure.
Did you play with Millie at all? Because there's couch co-op for it.
Millie played a lot of it when
you first moved in here. I remember she was
playing so she had some time off. And I'd come home from work and she's like, clearly in the same clothes that I left work in.
Yeah.
And she's like,
yeah.
Hey.
Well, 'cause it has couch co-op, so, you know.
That might be a good reason for us to sort of play a game, because it's been a while.
I'm going to skip this next bit.
So it's Diablo 2, yeah?
He was a Diablo 2
Yeah,
character.
Millie loves Diablo 2, so she may know who that is and get about it.
If she loved Diablo, she'd know that he was one of the base characters, not an expansion character, and arguably the most popular as well. So it's good, which opens the door. Sorry to get back onto it, for them to bring in a lot of people have been asking for them to bring the Druid over to Diablo 3, because the thing is, when you got all their characters fit certain archetypes. And there's kind of, you've got your spellcaster, you've got your ranger, you've got your warrior, you've got your undead guy, you've got your voodoo guy, you've got your mage. But the druid was very unique in the way that he was a shapeshifter. So he shapeshifted into a werebear or a werewolf. But then his spell tree was, he'd summon like volcanoes out of the ground and use nature as a weapon. So I think that's the last archetype they could kind of try to fill in Diablo 3.
You mean archetype?
Archetype,
yeah.
Archetype, same thing. So yeah, I hope they do that too.
Cool.
So I fucking love this game and the franchise, and it's another Blizzard franchise too. Obviously, I'm a big fan. I'm a super big fan.
Blizzard nerd, you.
Yeah. I'm going to skip this last one. I thought it'd be interesting, but then it probably won't be. So
in short, essentially, Capcom have come out and said that the original voice actors for Resident Evil 2 will not be returning for the remake.
Not because they don't want to. They all want to. All of them expressed on Twitter they all want to. They weren't approached, and Capcom have said that they wanted to get voice actors that are non-union.
Yeah, because right now there is that bit of the conflict with the strikes, and the exact same reason the woman from Life is Strange isn't coming back.
Alison Court, the voice of Claire Redfield, said it's actually got Capcom have said it's got nothing to do with the strike or any of that stuff going on. Whatever Capcom. So yeah, it sucks because for they're obviously remastering Resident Evil 2 like they did Resident Evil 1. Remake. But yeah, so if you're looking forward to Claire, Leon,
those voices
and
you know and
Ada
love,
not having the same voices, they're not going to. So sorry.
Yeah,
Blame
look,
Capcom.
that's a dick move by them. They're like, yeah, we want what are they called? Scabs. We want scabs, man. We don't want people that.
You don't want people that want proper payment and
yeah,
stuff.
Yeah, people that be paid nothing.
They'll get some up and coming voice actors that no one's heard of, so they can pay them chump change.
And then they'll get nothing. Then they'll get shafted. It'll be horrible.
Next and final bit of news for the week: the top selling games for the week ending 18th of June 2017, starting at number 10, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, Injustice 2, Uncharted 4. Ghost Recon Wildlands, Prey, GTA 5, Watch Dogs 2, Tekken 7, The Elder Scrolls Morrowind, and still at number 1 for
online Morrowind.
Online Morrowind, yeah. And still at number 1 for the third week running now, Horizon Zero Dawn. Woo. Back up there. Woo! How did Watch Dogs 2 get back in there?
I think it may have been on sale with
E3 sale thing?
4, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I think Ubi did a little bit of a sale over the week.
Okay, right. Tekken 7 is still pretty high. 2 fighting games in the top 10, Injustice 2 and Tekken 7.
Yeah, it was good to see Uncharted 4 come back, but I think it was on sale last week as well. So.
Unfortunately, AFL Evolution did not make it back into the charts.
Sad news,
but they had a better run than most indie devs would have.
That's true. we're still proud of them, regardless.
Oh, super proud. E3 2018, AFL Evolution 2 announced. Get like Gary Ablett and stuff up on stage at E3.
It's not going to get announced at an E3. We're lucky that to be announced down the road. You know what I mean? It's just like
it's down the road.
Hey, I'm here to tell
Next
you about
Geelong Gamer
Evolution.
Convention. The announcement of AFL Evolution 2.
There it is. That's where all the hub is. You and I on stage and Gary Ablett.
Senior.
You're senior, yeah. Who's someone prominent from the Geelong Football Club?
Gary Ablett.
Is he? Doesn't he play for like someone else now?
He went to Greater Western. No, GWS.
Suns.
Gold Coast Suns.
Yeah.
Joel Selwood, that's a name.
Yeah, Joel Selwood. He seems like a person.
Yeah, that's
Pendlebury, it seems like another name as well. I think that's Collingwood.
Dane Swan?
That's
Collingwood. Fuck. I've probably just offended so many people.
I don't know. Hawkins, Tom Hawkins. That's a big Geelong name.
Yep.
We'll get them and we'll
Cameron Ling. He doesn't play anymore.
Yeah. I tried to draft him 2 years ago. It's like, he retired a year ago.
I think it's Torquay Highway. There's a big billboard for like a home building company, and it's got Cameron Ling and a girl and a son. Yeah. That's not his wife and child on that billboard. Just some fun trivia. So anytime his wife drives up that road, he's got to see him being happy.
For those of you that drive the Torquay Highway
down here in Geelong.
God damn. Now this brings us to the main topic of the show, which is yours.
Yeah. Oh, you want me to elaborate?
Yeah.
So we said leading up to E3 2017 that PSVR's future hinges on how much effort Sony put into VR at their conference. What's coming, how much are they putting out, who's developing for it. And I thought it'd be good to have a discussion of where we now think, because it seemed like leading up to E3 2017 that VR was kind of pitter-pattering, it was there was some, a game a week kind of coming out. So I just wanted to get, your thoughts being a VR owner on, are you happy with the VR at the conference, and do you think that shows Sony's faith in the future of its product?
Yes.
Okay, next segment.
No, without a doubt. So now, granted, they didn't show a lot because VR is really hard. With something it's common knowledge, VR is really hard to demo, right? So they didn't go to that. They showed you enough to sort of understand where it's at. Now they showed you Skyrim VR, big huge pull.
And just on the side note, I saw Fallout 4 is in fact coming to PSVR.
Yeah, I saw.
You raged way too early.
I got really sort of enthusiastic.
So you got the one punch. No, we're getting Skyrim VR, and then you got the two punch. Fallout's coming as well.
Yeah, but that's not been confirmed yet either. That's popping up on websites.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought it was confirmed.
So it's not confirmed.
My bad.
But it comes. So they showed Skyrim VR. They showed Supermassive with 2 VR games.
Yeah.
Oh, they have a third game coming as well, but it's not VR. See, this is obviously a good sign as well. So Supermassive Games, known for Until Dawn and Until Dawn Rush of Blood being a VR game. Until Dawn, so the Supermassive are coming back with 2 more VR games. One of them tied to Until Dawn, one of them separate. Yeah. So, now these guys aren't first party. I don't know why they're not. They probably should be.
At this point, yeah. You have to look at what else they've released aside from Until Dawn stuff.
They've been pretty quiet. Outside the point is they're second party exclusives, right? So this is promising that these guys are still willing to work with PlayStation and make VR games.
Yeah.
Unless there's something, I'm sure there's a massive incentive, but why would they hang around?
It seems to be the best thing Sony has for VR is trying to get second and third party deals, because so far it's kind of proven that Sony don't want their first parties working on VR.
Yeah, because they're having such good hits so far.
Yeah. You got an install base of VR of what was it, 1.5 million now? Or 1.5? Yeah. And then you got your 70 million, 60 million, 70 million? 60 million install base for PS4. So obviously they want it.
It's a very low percentage of people.
Obviously they want their first party developers to develop for the users with the biggest install base. So the best thing you get for VR is your second and third party, deals. Yeah. They seem like what was that mouse game?
Moss.
That to me looked great. I know it didn't interest you, but to me that looked really interesting and really charming.
Yeah, look, don't get me wrong. I'm sure playing it would be a great thing to play, but it didn't impress me with the demo of it. We'll see what it is. Yeah. Another thing as well that you got some random dubstep popping up.
Chill step.
What's chill step?
Chill dubstep. It's my study music. That's really atmospheric.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's really nice.
I'm not lost my train of thought with the chill step. So another thing that's been going on as well is, as you mentioned it just really felt like Sony haven't been pushing the VR, and there's an absolute reason for that. Someone, I can't remember who came out and said it. There is a quote, and they pretty much came out and said, "Yeah, the reason we've stopped pushing it is because we don't have enough to meet demand. So we've gone a little bit quiet." So we can start getting some more shipments to get some more headsets out in the wild. Okay. Because what's the point?
I suppose, you approach a studio and hey, can you develop for our system that has 1 million units? They're we could develop for everything.
Well, no, it's more of a them, because if they go onto TV and they're like, "Hey, you there, buy a PlayStation VR now," ding, and you go to the shop and there aren't any.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like they're like, oh yeah, PlayStation have a shortage right now. Like that's people will go what, and then they'll stop. They'll get the bad
Interest is
taste.
gone.
Yeah, bad taste in the mouth. Interest is gone. They're done. Right? And in the same way, it's not in the same sort of vein as the Nintendo Mini, right? Where that stems from it's like it's $100. So if they happen to get more in, it's really easy. And like because when people want to spend $550 on VR, they've thought about it. They've invested the money. They've saved it.
Yeah.
And they're like, give me VR. Like we're out of it. I'm like, oh, fine, I'll spend this money on something else.
Ready to spend this $550. I'm gonna go spend it.
Yeah,
on something
I'll
else.
buy something else.
I'll buy 8 games. Like
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like that is the concern as well.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. And it's just been interesting to see the longevity of PSVR without, at this point, having first-party games coming onto.
I think it's fine. I think in time we will get some first parties. Now,
Do you think?
so
Sorry,
you say that, but we did have first parties at launch.
we did. Yeah.
You know, like Sony London did a bunch. We had Gorilla Cambridge. You know, so that it did.
Gorilla Cambridge isn't around anymore.
Yeah, but
because
Gorilla
of
Cambridge also were like there was the writing on the wall was there.
Yeah.
They were given shitty games to work with.
like the PSVR game they released.
Yeah, like rigs. You know what I mean? But I think they were like, we'll give it to them, and then if it goes bad, fuck them. You know what I mean? Like there was it's almost like there was steps planned there.
Yeah.
But look, first they've had first party support at the launch. I think they will in time, as long as they can find a game and a reason for that studio to work in that medium.
I guess what they can do, like we've
Like
got
Until Dawn Rush Blood, as I said, I know it's not first party, but that's a good example. It's like, hey, we want to do one. We want to put Until Dawn's name on something. What can you make?
Yeah.
We'll make a cool on-rail shooter. Like,
Well, it'd be interesting to see if they keep up with, I know they've released the Spider-Man VR to tie in with the movie, but can you give a smaller / second-party studio part of an IP to work with, like with God of War 4? Can they give that? Can they license someone to do just a small God of War VR experience for them?
they certainly can.
They can. Maybe they should, because we haven't really seen them do that yet. Give Supermassive. Go, hey, God of War 4 is coming out. Here are some assets and stuff. Can you make us a VR? Like just
But the only concern with that as well is this is the same sort of vein we talked about with Uncharted, right? The Lost Legacy, although it is made by Naughty Dog, it feels secondary. It feels like, and you're like, it's secondary. It's it's not the main. So it's like, hey, here's God of War 4. Or he's God of War as it is, and we've got this other party to make this small VR experience, and you're not, unless you're a big God of War guy, you're gonna be like, yeah, I don't need it. I don't need to try it out.
I think they're completely different comparisons, though.
No, but the point I'm making is like it's secondary to what it is, right? It's not.
Yeah.
It's not like, 'cause an example is with Tomb Raider. So Tomb Raider has a little VR mode thing in it. There's the Rise of the Tomb Raider. So that Tekken has a little VR thing in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But mind you, the
That's
Tekken
garbage.
one was poops.
It's absolute poops.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like if I
It's a tough sell, is what I'm getting at.
the thing is, the reason, like me personally, the reason I own a Sony console is because for their first party stuff. That's why I have them in on an Xbox, because I like their first party stuff better. And if I'm going to spend $550 on one of their peripherals, I personally would want to do that to experience some of their first party stuff in their VR headspace, which I don't know, we're not getting at the moment. So to me, I'm still not really convinced to buy one. Skyrim VR sounds cool, but I don't really want to buy Skyrim again for starters. But people will. You will. If I had a VR headset, I'd buy it too. But I'm still not.
In other words, hey, can I come play Skyrim VR?
But I'm personally still not convinced. I'm not convinced to buy it. It seems like the people that do have one are getting some decent games, and there are constant releases and stuff. But for me as an outsider, I'm still not. There still isn't that one thing to maybe go, fuck, I need it now.
Well, that transitions us into our next segment, which is From the Players, where those lovely viewers at home like yourself send us in questions about PlayStation-y things, and see what we have to say. Now, because we talked about this topic in advance, I was able to reach out to some of the community and see what they wanted to know in terms of VR.
Like we talk about, yeah. We normally decide on the topic 10 minutes before we record.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So Joel asks, Batman VR has so far been the biggest VR title that would appeal to the masses. What else do you think would need to be announced for PSVR to get those still on the fence to go out and grab one?
Oh, that transitions from my question, doesn't it?
Boom. What would get you to buy VR? For me, it was trying it. Once I tried it, I was in. Like when we went to, I think, was it EB Expo? When I tried it, I'm like, no, I need this. Yeah, I need this.
Yeah, we waited a long time to try it back then too.
Yeah. That was like 2015 EB Expo.
I would need a big original RPG. Not Skyrim. Skyrim's old, and yeah, just something new with not a big game, but a decent sized game with a cool story and cool lore, built from the ground up for VR, not remastered over to VR. Yeah, a big open-y, worldy RPG.
See, this is where I think Skyrim is obviously easy and everyone's making fun of it for coming out again. But I think it is a perfect game to test the waters of what people want with VR. Like the amount of metrics they're going to be able to get out of this. Like, hey, Skyrim VR's out there in the wild, and they can see how long people play it for. They're like, these people played the VR version for 15 hours minimum. Like on average, 15 hours.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, so a lot of people are sort of keen to play longer form VR games. So like, okay, there's a demand for that. Awesome, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's the big thing. But if they look at those numbers and they're like, people played Skyrim for 3 hours. Yeah. Like the longest play time is 3 hours. And people have played it like 5 times.
Yeah. Well, the remaster, that account has played it for 400.
Yes, they can sort of look at, okay, should we invest in a big 20-hour RPG, 20, 40, 50-hour RPG in VR?
I'd be happy with 10. I just want an original world with a game built specifically for PSVR and not a PSVR experience.
And I think that ties in also to the next question, which is from Jack. That's Jack Krause. Cruz. Jack Cruz works with Jono on the Platinum Explosion and the Explosion Network. He asked, "What is essential for PSVR to survive and be successful, apart from them actually having stock in stores?" So, and I think that's where it comes from in terms of it's not an experience. It is not tacked onto something else. It needs to be something brand new, something that is entirely built from the ground up for VR. And I think that's integral, but also with a good solid studio behind it. I think name
recognition is very important.
Oh, brand recognition is incredibly important. And that is why I think they may have tried to get Skyrim VR there, because like you put Skyrim on there, you put Fallout on there, people are like,
they're big games.
I'm going to need a VR headset. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's very important. So it's essential to have that brand recognition. It's essential to.
So I'm just picturing Fallout 4 when you transition into VATS, how that could be in VR, and then you can kind of like look around.
And like as your head moves, the percentages change.
Yeah. That'd be really cool.
I don't think that's in the game, but I want that so bad.
But it could be in the game if it was built from the ground up for VR.
Yeah, that would be something you could work into. But yeah, you're not gonna get sort of
a quote port. Won't
I think that's probably the key way for it to survive and to change.
Yeah, but then it's also like we said before, it will be hard to convince studios to develop for it without the big numbers there.
Yeah, but as I said, as more units come out, and if come in 6 months, if hopefully they make enough units, and they're like, we have another 500,000, 1 million in out and about.
Yeah. Go see if your local shop has one.
Yeah, like we've just shipped another 1 million units around the world. And like, okay, cool.
Yeah,
because
there is still a demand for it. People still want it. They can't actually get it at the moment. So I don't know if they underestimated the popularity or they didn't want to make too many and then it not really take off or whatever. But I think they've got a good, they've got the good figures. They must know roughly how many more they need to put out.
And the attach rate is solid, might I add, as well.
Is it?
People that do have a headset, they buy like 5 games. That's anecdotal. I don't know the exact number.
The games are like $10 or whatever.
Yeah, but the point is like people are interested. And final question is from Jacob Garner, old buddy Pinch. He asks, "What do you think PlayStation will bring to this year's EB Expo?" So EB Expo is essentially the closest thing Australia has to an E3. So the retailer chain EB Games, or GameStop as they're known in the US, has a convention once a year, normally about October, September, where they have pretty much a lot of games you'll get in the next 6 months.
Pretty much, and a lot of what you just saw at E3 that's not far off coming out.
Yeah, and so there's my answer. I think it's everything PlayStation has upcoming.
Wait,
so
what date is...
It is the first week of October.
No, so Destiny 2 won't be there.
Because it'll already be in September.
It'll already be out.
No, it'll be there. It won't be big, but it'll be there. So I think Destiny 2 will be there. I think Battlefront will have a big setup in the same way as last year. Year before. Because they had a massive booth.
Call of Duty always have
Call of Duty will be there.
What else is out in October?
GT Sport, if that's coming out in November as planned, will be there. I think...
God of War?
See, this is the same thing. I think in the same way that Horizon was there, we were able to,
Here's a zone from the game that you can fuck around in.
Yeah,
if you go to walk out of there, you get teleported back in.
Yeah, I think if it's hitting like it's planning to, I think there will be a small God of War playable demo at EBX.
Sounds like a big lineup.
Oh, let's hopefully we can sneak into that media night again.
Yeah, because all of those, Destiny 2, Battlefront 2, they have the place that the Sony deal, the marketing deal, so they will be in Sony's section. And of the expo.
Like an example is like Ubi have a booth there. So like EA doesn't have a presence outside of putting their games with something. So EA will come off. We'll shoot off
whoever they've got the marketing deals with.
And Activision's the same. They don't have an Activision little booth thing, so it would make sense. I'm probably expecting more VR stuff. They'll
definitely have the
Skyrim
VR
VR's coming out at the end of the... it doesn't have a date, does it?
Why do you always get phone calls while we're recording?
That fucking number is I'm just going to answer it. Let's just do it for the fun of the video. I have a feeling it's one of those dumb, stupid calls. It's one of those dumb, stupid calls.
What dumb, stupid call?
Hello? Calling on behalf of Energy Compare. I work for an energy company, mate. Leave me alone.
Nice.
But yes, I think there will be some VR there, depending on when Skyrim VR is hitting. I think that maybe they'll have a couple little things, a little bit of tests.
Yeah. Well, what did they have last year? They had they had 8 set up last year.
But yeah,
before it came out.
With the launch of VR last year, it was like, let's get as many people win it as they can.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they'll definitely have their little VR section again too.
But once again, they are all games that are coming out way down the line.
Hopefully not too way down.
Not too far down the line. Well, at least 6 months ago. So let's take a look at what's coming down in... That's not where. What's coming out next week? Fuck, that segue could have been so solid if I didn't brush your boob, and I was like, I think I brushed his boob, and then I didn't want to say anything, but my brain focused on me brushing your boob. And
did you realize I have hard nipples at the moment?
No, I didn't know.
They're always hard. I don't know why.
This is the drop.
There's a lot of games.
It's coming to the players.
So I'm going to speedrun it again, and then we'll go back to the ones that sound kind of interesting. Number 1, we have Area Deluxe Edition PS4 Digital. America's Army Proving Grounds PS4 Digital. Ancient Amuletor PSVR Digital.
Amuletor.
Arizona Sunshine PSVR Digital. Brawlhalla PS4 Digital. Cavernous Wastes PS4 PSVR Digital. Ooh, that might be interesting. I'll go back to that one. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy PS4 Digital. Cryptark PS4 Digital. Danganronpa Another Episode Ultra Despair Girls PS4 Digital and Retail. Dark Arcana The Carnival PS4 Digital. Diablo 3 Eternal Collection PS4 and Digital. PS4 Digital, not physical. Elite Dangerous PS4 Digital and Retail. The Golf Club 2 PS4 Digital and Retail. Jump Jet Rex PS4 Digital. That's actually a fun title. Jump
cool
Jet
name.
Rex.
The picture's pretty cool.
Medieval Defenders. What is it? I thought it's T-Rex in space.
Yeah.
With a pug friend.
Yeah.
We'll go back and read that one. Medieval Defenders PS4 Digital. Micro Machines World Series PS4 Digital and Retail. Plague Road PS4 Digital. Poi PS4 Digital. The 10th Line PS4 Digital. Tokyo Xanadu PS Vita Digital and Retail. Valkyria Revolution PSVR. PS4 PS Vita Digital. The World of Nubla PS4 digital. That was the final game. So let's go back to the top and we'll go down.
There's a couple of things that sort of jump out at us. So, Plague Road, which was the Jim Sterling.
We'll start from the top and work our way.
Oh, okay.
Arizona Sunshine for PSVR.
This is I believe
Well, it seems to be a horror game.
It's a zombie shooter.
Arizona Sunshine puts you in the midst of a zombie apocalypse exclusively in VR. Handle weapons with real-life movements. Freely explore a post-apocalyptic world. Put your survival skills to the test with PSVR.
So my understanding, if I remember right, is this uses the aim controller.
Okay.
And I believe it to be a port of a Vive game.
Cavernous Waste, PS4 and PSVR digital. With no memory of where you are and no idea how you got there, you do know one thing: you have to escape. Fly through the maze-like cavern and fight through the automated defense systems while searching for a way out. Seems like a claustrophobic VR game.
Yeah, very.
Because it looks like the thumbnail is a very dark cave.
We've wet up.
Yeah. Obviously, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy.
Woo!
We're pumped. It's going to happen. Let's keep going down. Diablo 3 Eternal Collection.
Elite Dangerous. This is one. So we have reached out for a code. Because apparently, if I remember right, someone told me Elite Dangerous is what No Man's Sky should have been.
Okay.
And as poop. Read the description for me.
Yeah. Elite Dangerous is a definitive, massively multiplayer space epic, bringing gaming's original open-world adventure to the modern generation with a connected galaxy, evolving narrative, and the entirety of the Milky Way recreated at its full galactic proportions.
So, regardless of the bullshit that happened with No Man's Sky, its potential and what they were selling it as,
apparently it's much better now.
I'm sure it's better now, but it's
They're patching a lot of the
too
things
late
they
now.
promised originally.
The point I'm making is, though, it's like what they promised, what we sort of looked at. I believe that Elite Dangerous is what it should have been, and it originally was just a PC
at a small
game.
scale.
Yeah, because they've kind of we
It's
have
the
a
Milky
small
Way.
we have a small
Yeah.
scale. Milky Way's still fucking huge, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
It's not infinite, but still fucking huge. So it's like they can sort of narrow it down and focus a little bit.
Yep. Plague Road came out for Vita 2 weeks ago. Yep. It's coming to PS4 next week. Set around a city being consumed from within by disease, Plague Road tells the story of a lone doctor who once left home and now returns in search for those who have survived. Now, I think the narrator in Plague Road, as we mentioned earlier, is Jim Sterling. Mm-hmm. Jim fucking Sterling, son. I'm interested. I don't like the color palette in the game. That's what's putting me off, and I don't know why. But it is a plague doctor as the main character, and I love plague doctors. I just love that whole story. You know why they've got the big beak thing?
Yeah, because there's herbs and shit.
Yeah, there's herbs and shit in there. That's where they keep all the healing stuff close to their mouth in case they breathe it in, like Bane. I don't know where I was going with that. That's all I'm interested in.
Yeah, there's not much that jumped out.
That's it.
Pretty straightforward.
That's it.
That brings us towards pretty much the end of the show. What do you think? Is there a game that we missed? Tell us what games you keen for this week. Do you believe that PlayStation VR is dead? Or there is
dead's
the
a
future is
harsh
bright?
word.
No, because that's pretty much every goddamn clickbait title these days.
Yeah, true.
So there's a couple other games before we jump into.
We missed a bit of news.
Oh, we did. Speaking of games, so Activision have announced that Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4, the remaster that was initially a tie with Infinite Warfare, will be released. Speaking of the drop, June 27.
Yeah, next week.
Same
day as the Diablo 2 new expansion.
See, for me, I picked up Infinite Warfare 3 weeks ago for $20. Yeah. That's fine.
But didn't have the remaster with it.
Didn't have the remaster with it. Yeah. I'm like, the remaster will come out eventually.
So now it works out you've paid $60 for both.
Bing!
Yeah. So you're waiting for a sale. You kind of got your sale.
I got my sale, so I'm pretty keen for that. Another two games that I'm keen to try out over the next week is Get Even. It's the sort of this cool little psychological thriller, highly praised by our buddy Zach over at Do Even Game Bro, and I'm thinking I might pick up Next Machina.
I do really want it, but like I said, I have pulled back on the spending for a bit. I know I want Crash more than I want Next Machina, so for me it was one or the other for now, and it will probably be Crash.
Yeah,
because it's 3 games in one. And, I've got to bring the kids back to my world.
That's it. Hey, kiddies, come. That sounds so creepy. Hey, kiddies, come check out my things.
Come crash out. Come crash out my Bandicoot.
Come crash this party. The spiel.
If you enjoyed that conversation, you can join in many more on iTunes, YouTube, and Stitcher, Facebook, and all other major social media outlets. But the main conversation happens on our Facebook community group, facebook.com/groups/thepopculturists. And if you really, really, really like what we do, jump over to Patreon at patreon.com/thepopculturists. Check out the tiers there. There might be something that interests you.
I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Josh Saunders.
And that was for the players.